Welcome, everyone, to the 126th edition of Master Mike's Wrestling Paradise. I am your host, Master Mike Ambrose, and let's get the show going. Raw last night from my hometown of Boston, Massachusetts. It was an awesome show. Incredible show. Great last night. We had some good stuff. Opened up with the Gable and opened with Chad Jey Uso coming through the concourse into the arena at TD Garden. You can see the back shot. What about WWE production now with the new guy? Lee, I forget his name, but the new guy they got, he used to work with UFC. He's doing a great job with the camera work, much better than before, way better. Opening, Lee Fitting, that's his name, Lee Fitting, the guy that worked at UFC. His name's Lee Fitting, way better than Kevin Dunn, that's for sure. The show opens with Jey Uso coming through being at the TD Garden, walking through. Well, the lights, doing his dance, that whole thing. And eat this, and they're all going crazy. After he's in Money in the Bank, Chad Gable comes out to confront him. He's in Money in the Bank, and everything's going there. Looks like they're going back and forth. Chad Gable super kicks Jey Uso super kicks Chad Gable. Chad Gable's in the ring, and all of a sudden, there's a thing. The Wyatt Six come out. Or the theme is the Wyatt Six, that piano, and the place is popping. There's lights going on. All of a sudden, he walks out of the ring. He tries to go for the exits, and all of a sudden, there's members of the Wyatt Six there. Goes to the entrance of the Wyatt Six, so he goes on the other side of the garden. And then you see Nikki Cross. Well, yeah, it is Nikki Cross, and they're doing her as a member of Wyatt Six. She brings another gift pack to Michael Cole, which turned out to be a video with with another video of Bo Dallas. Kind of back of I'll tell you right now, he's saying, he's talking, and then him saying the same thing as Uncle Howdy, which of course is Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy, so that's how that ends. You can watch online. It's pretty interesting, just more details of what's going on. They're kind of like building up them wrestling. I don't even know when their first match is going to be, but it should be interesting. I've heard some people say wait till WrestleMania for the first match that the Wyatt Six says. I mean, can they hold out that long? It's like almost a year away, WrestleMania. Could they hold out till WrestleMania 20? WrestleMania 41, their first match? Or whatever. I don't know when they're going to have a match at all. I mean, it's going to happen eventually, but I don't know when. We shall see. Also, we had Liv Morgan and the Judgment Day drama, war stuff. Liv Morgan defended the title against Lena Vega, retained the women's world title. And, of course, Liv was backstage with Judgment Day playing video games with them, and Priest didn't like it. Priest said he talked to Rhea and told Dom he talked to Rhea, and Rhea didn't like what's going on, apparently, and, there's going to be trouble there. And obviously, Liv's the heel, Rhea's the basic. It's going to be an interesting dynamic. I think it's going to be a split. I could definitely see Finn Balor and JD McDonough with Liv, and Priest with Rhea, and maybe Dominic. Who knows? I don't know where Carlito would be on this. Carlito's like a honorary member, not really. It's almost like what Sami Zayn was as the honorary Uso. But obviously not high enough, they elevated Sami Zayn higher than they're doing Carlito. I don't think Carlito's going to be main eventing anytime soon, WrestleMania. Not good against him, he's a good worker, but he's kind of not main event talent. And after that, that went on, at the end. Liv came out during Dominic's match with Rey Mysterio. And you had Dominic, and then Zelina Vega comes out. There's a spot where Rey looks like he's hitting that with Liv, and Liv falls on top of Dominic. And it's like, well, he's doing something. Selena pulls him off, and then they're fighting on the thing. I don't know, I think it was Liv ended up on top of Dominic. Selena pulled him off, then they were fighting on the apron. Dominic's going up to do a move, and I guess Liv, touched the rope, and Dominic crossed himself on, fell off the thing. Then Rey come out 1, 2, 3. Rey beats Dominic. And that was their first one-on-one match since last year's WrestleMania. They had the tag team match this past WrestleMania, but it was the WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles, not this past WrestleMania 40 in Philly. Really good. And also we had Money in the Bank qualifiers. We had a great show, two great matches actually involving. We had Eos guy's already in it. We had Dakota Kai versus Zoe Stark versus Ivy Nile. I actually kind of thought Ivy Nile would get it, but I kind of knew she wasn't going to be. I kind of wanted her to, but knew it wasn't going to happen the way they've been used her. And, Zoe Stark wins, obviously. And notice on the internet, a lot of people didn't like that Zoe Stark won. They wanted to go to Kai. because that they wanted they want damage control to have like a fight, an argument, have like friction, and they are having friction, and they wanted Dakota Kai in there because you have her and EO. Although EO won last year, and obviously she's in it again, and I got my issues with former champions and stuff like that. I know EO and Naomi are in it. It's not, it's just, I don't know. They did last year with Trish Stratus in it and Becky Lynch, and I think they should have like talent that had never been in the Money in the Bank to be in the Money in the Bank. Honestly, I probably said that before, but I'll say it again. If I haven't said it before, I'll say it again. I think you should. I'll say it right now. You should not have anybody that's been champion of Money in the Bank. I think, well, not anybody that's been like a single, like the world champion. For instance, you could be an IC champion, US champion, but never be the world or heavyweight, WWE champion in the man's Money in the Bank. For the women, you could have a women's tag title, or even the NXT title, or the women's North America, which just started. You could have one of those, but you shouldn't have like the WWE of the world. I think you should have like totally new people. Doesn't matter what. Like, if you haven't had a singles title in the main roster for your female, I mean, if you haven't had the WWE or you haven't had the world, you could be in it. If you've had the WWE and you've had the world, you should not be in it. That's my philosophy. Start fresh. Like, you got this Tiffany in it. She's never had it. She's my pick to win, Tiffany Stratton. So, I think she's be the right person to be a Money in the Bank. She hasn't had a title yet, and we'll see what she can do with it. That's my opinion. And then the men's qualifier, the main event, was Drew McIntyre versus Shane for Ilya Dragunov. Of course, it was a great match. Very physical. And McIntyre wins with the Claymore on Sheamus. He says, at the end of the show, he calls, I'm winning Money in the Bank. And I'm leaving, I'm winning, coming to Toronto to win the Money in the Bank. And I'm leaving Toronto as the World Heavyweight Champion. So he's already going to cash in on either Priest or Rollins, who had a segment involving challenging them, building up their match. And Rollins got attacked by Finn Balor because Finn came out. And obviously, Priest got mad that Finn was coming out and doing stuff to Rollins. He's like, get out of here. I can take care of this myself. Because there's friction with Judgment Day, and it's going to blow over. They're going to have a split coming up. And South to Heaven from Priest to Rollins. And, yeah, there's tension with Judgment Day, you can tell. Oh, another good segment. I like this segment. And Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn. Because Braun challenged Sami for the Intercontinental title in Toronto. And it started off physical. He said, I've been the underdog, but Sami saying, went to his point, I fought guys like you. I wasn't supposed to be here, but here I am. I made it. I'll fight anybody, and I don't back down for a fight. And so he's there. They're fighting. Braun attacks Sami. Sami's on the outside. Braun does the thing where he runs around the ring, and he goes around. Right when he's like to spear him, Sami moves out of the way, and Braun goes full to first into the steps. It's quite a scene. And then Sami starts fighting back, and then, Sami's ready to give the hoover kick, but out of nowhere, Braun with the spear. I tell you, I got Braun Breaker with this. He's phenomenal. He's going to give me the top guy, in my opinion. It's like TFC's trying to be the top woman. One thing WWE's been doing the last few years, developing their young talent. That was the whole thing ever since they did that reboot. I think the best thing was the reboot of NXT a couple years back, because look what happened. All these new young talent that they come to the system. Like those two I just mentioned. You got Ilya Dragunov just showed up. You got a lot of people that want to be on the main roster. Carmelo Hayes. I think before, when it was like you had the same guys on there, like the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, no offense, but they just wanted to stay down there, and it delayed other guys developing. So the best thing to do was, scrap that. And you got the Creed, so I think are on the back burner, but they have a lot of potential. Bruins free agency. I'm going to switch off to some sports talk here. Local scene with the Bruins signing Elias Lindholm, centerman, and defenseman Nikita Zadorov, both from Vancouver, but they signed good deals. Lindholm had, I think 8 years or so on $7.75 million. And Nikita Zadorov had 6 years, $5 million a year. That's for a year, $7.75 a year and $5 million a year. So, you got some with depth. Zadorov's a good sized defenseman. We need that. Lindholm's a great centerman. They got a number one. They already drafted the centerman over the weekend. So we're bulking up there. Some of the guys left, Jake DeBrusk went to Vancouver. David Harden went to Vancouver, so we kind of slipped in Vancouver. And Matt Grizzlick went to Pittsburgh. Of course, last week we got rid of, we traded Linus Ullmark to Ottawa. Sorry, excuse me. But bless myself. I just sneezed. None of news, big news of the day, probably. The Celtics ownership is selling the team. Of course, Wick Grousbeck and Steve Pagliuca, they're selling their stakes in it. And, they cashed in. They're cashing out. They cashed in. They just won a title. Team's at its highest value. You can get billions for it. One of those valued franchises, not in just basketball, but in the world of sports. Your legacy franchise in the league. They're a big brand in that league, even though people always say the Lakers are the top brand. And maybe they are to a lot of people. But obviously, I'm a Celtics fan, so we're on par. Celtics are obviously a more successful franchise. And, they definitely have a bigger, legacy is the same, but, in the modern era, your Lakers are probably bigger. They've won more overall in the last, 40 years about. So, it's good. It's good news for the Celtics. I mean, good for the owners. Those guys, they're going to make money off it. I just hope they don't sign it's like a guy that's not going to be here all the time. The only thing is, the one thing that could help, new ownership buys the arena because they were paying rent to the owners, the Jacobs family, one of the Bruins. So that money was going there, and so it kind of affects you if you don't own your own arena. Hopefully, wherever the Celtics go, they build their very own arena, and they build it in like a nice area in Boston or wherever it is. Some people say Everett up by Encore Hotel. Kind of a drive, but it's a nice area. I've been to Encore before in the past. It's not a bad place to go. If you like to gamble, sometimes go to those casinos. I'm not promoting gambling here. I'm just saying I've been to that casino, and it's a good place to go. So yeah, I like to see a casino arena there, and maybe like off the road, maybe over by somewhere in Dorchester. I don't know, off the road. They got a lot of good place they could build an arena. It's hard to get things done in Boston because it's kind of like a crowded city. They never do anything. That TD Garden's old. Even for hockey, it's kind of old. It's an older arena. They should build a new one eventually or renovate it a bit, kind of. I don't know. Re-signings for the Celtics. On to other Celtics news. Jason Tatum got his bag. Big extension. 5 years at $314 million, and it's deserved. Just won a title. He's the face of the franchise, even though Jaylen Brown won the MVP. Jason Tatum is the face of the franchise, and keep him here. Derek White also signed a new contract at 4 years. I think 100 I think it may have been like 4 years, 100 and, not 120 million. It might be that. 4 years, 120 million. I'll have to look that up, but he signed an extension. And good for him. He's a talent. He deserves that. He was a big key why they won this year. And that's that. Still reading my book. Oh, I told you about another book that Guy Evans did last week. I'm still reading it now. It's the Sitting Ringside book by David Penn. It's really good. It tells the story of his upbringing in South Florida on WCW and how he got into the business. It's really good. I'll give a full review as soon as I'm done with it. All right. That's all. Take care. I'll be talking to you soon. Hopefully I'll do another show coming up this week. I hope to do another one because it's the 4th of July weekend and SmackDown's coming up. Money in the Bank is coming up, so I'll do a preview show at the end of the week. And take it there. Have a good night. Bye-bye.